Your lack of control in snacking can ruin an entire week's worth of weight loss progress because all of your snacking problems boil down to being in one of these three buckets. So follow this exact three bucket system that I use to help me lose 70 pounds. So let's start with bucket one because this is probably the one that you blame on lack of discipline. You don't snack most of the time because you are hungry. Think about it like this. When you are sitting down and you are at work, what are you probably doing throughout the day? You may throw, if you're like working from home, you may throw a show on in the background. And this is kind of just noise. You're kind of just having it there, even though you may not be really watching it or paying attention much to it. Or maybe you're sitting down cooking dinner and you just have that show on in the background, getting ready for the day, the show on in the background, just because that you want almost like that background noise. You want something just there in the moment. Or you're sitting at work and you pull out your phone and you start scrolling social media every maybe like 15, 20 minutes. I know this is that you do this a lot. You didn't gain anything from this. Let's be honest. Like you didn't gain a whole lot of enjoyment. It's just something that was there in the background or that you sat there and scrolled on. You probably even may have felt worse when you did this. You got out of that cycle of scrolling. It's been like 30 minutes or an hour goes by and you don't realize it. And you just feel like you've wasted away an hour. You feel like crap that you did this because you didn't gain much from this. So why did you do this? You did this out of boredom. You did this because you wanted something to just fill the time. You do the same thing with snacking. You snack out of being bored, which leads us into bucket number one, boredom snacking. A lot of your snacking falls within this bucket, but this is how you're going to fix it. Because boredom necessarily isn't a food problem. It is just a stimulation problem. So I want you to make a boredom menu. The rules are simple. You need to do one of these before you let yourself go grab a snack. So in those moments that you are bored and you just want to go grab a snack because you have nothing else to do, you're sitting at work, you get tired of what you're doing at a task and you just want to go to the stinking fridge or the cupboard and go grab a snack. This is what you're going to do before you do that. I want you to make a checklist or a menu of things that you can pick from when you have this moment. One thing you can do to fix this is go for a 10-minute walk. You may just need a little bit of a reset. And when you go for that walk, you do something positive instead of doing something negative or something that you're tying boredom with something negative like going and snacking a bunch. You tie something positive to it, and I guarantee when you come back from that 10-minute walk, 5-10 minutes, you aren't going to want to snack anymore because you're going to feel a lot better and realize I was just bored. Second fix I want you to try is drink electrolytes. So all you can do is you just fill up a thing of water. It could be like a blender bottle of water. You're gonna dump some electrolytes in it. They're pretty cheap. You can get them online anywhere. A good brand you can use if you really want to is gonna be Element or Liquid IV. There's all kinds of brands out there, not sponsored by any, but pick some sort of brand that you enjoy and like to drink. And before you have that boredom snack, you are going to finish that entire thing of water. A lot of your problems also lie within you just being thirsty and you don't realize it. When you drink this water, you are going to feel more full. You're going to replace that snack with something that is no calories or barely any calories at all. And you're going to get a little more full in the process of this. Third thing that I want you to do, and this is probably one of the most important ones that you can do to fix, is going to replace that task that you are currently doing with another productive task. So just change gears. So if you're working on a task for work, change it up a little bit. Stop working on that one for 3 to 4 hours. Not only are you going to probably be more productive when you do this, but now you aren't in that same monotonous task because you were bored doing that. Change it up and then I guarantee you are going to feel more stimulated. You're not going to be as bored anymore and you're not going to go for that snack. If this is you, like you're realizing that snacking isn't even hunger, it's just boredom, you're probably also dealing with weight loss feeling like it's harder than it really needs to be. I actually put together a whole free mini course on how to lose weight that breaks down how I lost 70 pounds and teaches you how you can lose weight as well by building a system that will work for you. So just click the link in the description if you want it. Now, boredom's only one piece of this, but if you don't get this next bucket under control, then you can ruin all of your weight loss progress. One of my biggest fears and stressors in my life is flying. I hate to flipping fly. I have no problem going through the airport. I actually enjoy it. I'll tell you why here in a second. I have no problem going through TSA, going through the airport, checking bags. I have no problem with the whole walkthrough, but the moment I sit down in the dang chair waiting for the flight to actually get there, I start freaking panicking because I hate to fly. I am somebody, the moment I get on the plane or I'm up in the sky, I actually don't even mind the takeoff or mind the landing. It's the fact that I'm in the dang sky, I feel like I'm gonna flip and die. I feel like any little bit of turbulence that's gonna happen, I feel like the whole flipping plane is going to go down. And I know people are like, oh, well, statistics say this and this. I don't care. I think I'm gonna be in the less than 1% of people. Now, this is probably not a great fix for what I do sometimes, but to be honest with you, I stress drink a little bit during this time. I try to just drink a lot so I feel a little bit happier, a little bit like stresses off my shoulders during this time. And although I know it's not a great idea, it definitely helps me a little bit. But a lot of you are doing this with your diet. You're not probably stress drinking, but you are stress snacking, which leads us into bucket 2, which is stress snacking. So this is how you're gonna fix this type of snacking, because the last thing you need is dealing with this like my dang flying anxiety. So you don't need a food rule, you just need some sort of stress outlet during these moments. Because sitting here telling yourself don't eat when you're stressed out is not gonna work. The same way as if I'm sitting there on the plane and somebody says, oh, well, statistics say this, it doesn't freaking work. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to make a stress response list. It's like a 911 list. These are gonna be a few options that you make for yourself. Just throw them in the notes on your phone. You can do this for boredom as well if you want, but this is gonna be your 911 call. This is gonna be what saves you in these moments. Because let's be honest, you're gonna have several times where you're stressed out. Maybe you come home from a long, exhausting day of work. The last thing that you want to do is eat healthy, but this is what I want you to do is to go to this list. On this list, a fix could be getting a workout in. I know for me, one of the best things that I do for my mental health is getting a workout in. Maybe it's just starting those, maybe you have like a rough day and you know what rough day it is. For me, it's like a Monday. I just tend to know that my rough days are Monday, so I'm gonna start my day with a workout. And I tend to find that this leads more success for me, but maybe just something random pops up. Go get a short workout or a long workout in. In the past, I used to run, and I didn't run to lose weight or anything. I ran because when I was stressed out, I would just go for runs until I started to feel better. I had no time limit. I had no distance goal in mind. I just went until I started to feel better. Second thing you can do is just go for a walk without your phone. Don't have your phone on you. Disconnect. Be able to maybe work through that problem that you're having, or just sit and think, because we do so much where we don't sit and think because we try to replace all our thinking about just our boredom thinking with a dang phone and scrolling. Another thing that you can try that works really well for me is when I'm stressed out, I just put on music that I know is going to either hype me up or that puts me in a good mood, and it works every flipping time. So put on some music that you know is going to turn your mood around. You could also call someone. If there's somebody that you just need to talk to about maybe you're just having a stressful day, call that person that you trust. This is another simple one, but go take a flippin' shower. This is just a simple way to just reset yourself, to get out of that stressful mode. You could have a whole list of other things. You got to figure out what works best for you. But these are some options that you can put on this list. Try to put like 3 options on this 911 list, because the goal isn't to sit here and push off your feelings later. The goal is to not replace these stressful feelings with snacking. We do not want to tie the two together. Now, this next bucket is incredibly important because you can ruin an entire week's worth of weight loss progress in literally just 10 minutes. But first, let's talk about how your hunger works. I like to think about hunger in 3 main zones. The first zone being what I just think of as content. Maybe you wake up, you're not that hungry. You don't really feel like going for food. Or maybe you just ate and you're content. Maybe you're not super full. You just are a little content. You aren't thinking about food. You don't want any food. So you're just sitting there and you don't really want anything. Your stomach is in a position where it's just not really hungry at all. That second zone is that level of hunger where maybe you go to bed at night and you're just a little bit hungry. You have that slight hunger. You could use a snack, but you know maybe I should not have one because I'm trying to lose weight. Or maybe it's been a couple hours since you've ate and you're starting to have a little bit of hunger. This is that second zone where you're a little bit hungry, but you're not starving. And this third zone, which tends to be the big problem for a lot of people, is what I call the hungry as fuck zone. This is literally where all you can think about is food. This is where you're really hungry, you go for the Oreos, and you end up eating freaking 3 rows of Oreos. You grab the dang pint of Ben & Jerry's, you eat the entire tub. Or if you're like me in the past, where I ate a whole flipping family-sized bag of chips. This is literally where you are so hungry that you start to eat something and you cannot control what you are eating. Like so much so that you eat so much, you almost get more hungry in the process of eating, and then randomly you just get hit by a lot of feelings of fullness and you get hit by like this stuffed feeling and a lot of guilt. So in this third bucket, a lot of your snacking problems happen because you're just actually hungry. So this is what a lot of people are going to tell you to do. They should say you should have discipline. You shouldn't have any sort of snack. You should wait until the next day. Just hold off. Just sleep it off. If you are in this zone of where you're extremely hungry, like you know it, it's not just a little bit of slight hunger. It's where I really want to eat food. I've been having a tough time sleeping tonight because all I can think about is food. If you're in that zone, You should not take the advice of, oh, just don't have anything. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to push this off. Maybe you can hold it off for a day or 2 days, maybe 3 days. You're eventually going to have a day where you just cave in and you have the dang Oreos and you binge on them. You eat way more than you should have. You get so full, so stuffed. You get really guilty from this. And you end up losing a ton of your progress in the process because you eat so many calories back of all the calories that you lost during the week. So this is how you're going to fix this. And this may sound a little counterintuitive. I want you to, in these moments when it feels like way more hunger than it should be, is to eat a small meal. Now you're gonna sit here and I'm gonna get pushback because you think you should be saving calories in these moments. But when in reality, if you had a small meal, then you would actually eat way less than if you pushed this feeling off and then binged on something entirely. Now I want this small meal to check 2 out of 3 of these boxes. This small meal needs to be at least 200 to 300 calories. I want it to be at least 200 to 300 calories because I want it to at least give you a little bit of a feeling of fullness. I don't want this to be super small. I want you to actually have a little meal. If it's a little bit above that, that's totally fine. This one is a non-negotiable. This box definitely needs to be checked. Now these other 2 boxes, you can pick between them. The second box I want you to check is I want you to get at least 20 to 30 grams of protein in that meal, because protein is going to help keep you a lot more full. When you eat protein, it is harder to overeat and you're going to have more feelings of fullness for the next couple hours. Or I want you to check the box of getting roughly 5 to 10 grams of fiber within that meal, because fiber, just like protein, helps your body be more full. Fiber actually acts like a sponge in your stomach too. When you eat things that are high in fiber and then drink water as well, it does a better job of absorbing water and expanding like a sponge. So I want you to check either one of those 2 boxes, or a bonus, if you were to get all 3, that would be a killer meal. If you can check these 3, I can promise you this is going to fix that snacking problem, or 2 to 3 of these boxes. This is incredibly important because it's going to make sure that you don't overeat later on. You don't end up eating back all those calories in just flipping 10 minutes. And you're also pushing the needle forward. You're still getting high protein, high fiber. You're eating healthy foods when you do this. And you're still in a calorie deficit. If you are extremely hungry, that is your body telling you a sign that you're eating less calories, or you need a little bit of food. It is sending a signal to your brain saying, dude, eat more food. Now, if you're struggling to lose weight, make sure you click that link in the description for that free mini course. Now, snacking is one problem to weight loss, but what do you do on a daily basis to make sure that you lose weight? I break down the exact 7 daily habits that I did every single day to help me lose 70 pounds. And if you want to copy those to help you lose weight, then I recommend that you watch this video here.